Heyo, this is Space Marine 2112 coming back at you. It's been a while, and I gotta be honest, I'm liking our new setup. We just moved into a new house, so I'm actually able to talk as loud as I want during these recordings now. My wife is asleep, and in the old house, she was able to hear me quite clearly from the office into the bedroom. Now I'm on the other side of the house, so I can be as eccentric as I want during these streams. Not that I'm that crazy to begin with, but it makes for a more entertaining video. How about that? So today I decided, I was thinking Def Leppard. I don't know. I came up on my playlist today, and I'm like, you know what? I want to do an album ranking of Def Leppard. Good band. Not a ton of albums that they've done, to be honest. But some really good stuff in here, so I kind of wanted to go through it and see where we land. I did not rank these beforehand, by the way, just so I can kind of be surprised by what I do. I I'm not gonna rank Yeah. Now that I'm noticing that's here, I mean that's mainly covers. It's a good album, but I should probably just put miscellaneous. It's not that it's a bad album. I'm not gonna rank it. Let's be honest. Okay, so I tried to get rid of these ads, but it looks like Google's getting smarter. And even though I know my HTML, I've removed it several times. It just keeps coming back with some really stupid crap. So we're going to have to deal with ads. That's just how this tier maker website is, and we'll just go along with it there. I am drinking some sort of South African red wine tonight. It is quite good. Should make for a festive evening. It's been a long week. I usually work a compression schedule, so I am actually off tomorrow. So, I can move some more stuff and unpack some more stuff. It's been fun. Anyway, so here we go. We're going to start out with probably, in my opinion, one of Def Leppard's worst albums, Slang. I'm not a huge fan of this album. Actually, wait, was it Yeah or Songs from the Sparkle Lounge that had the... now that I'm looking... No. Yeah is the one with the covers. Okay, but yeah, now Slang, they kind of went a different sound direction. And even their title track, Slang, on the album, I'm not a huge fan of. It's not a bad song, but it doesn't sound like any of their other records. So in terms of their albums, again, it's still not a bad. When you're looking at like some of the stuff that's put out nowadays with the hip hop and rap and stuff, this is still better than any of that. But it's not an album that I'm going to go back to very often, to be honest. It's just got a different... I can't quite explain how it's different. It's not like exactly alternative or like a different type of rock. It's just not quite Def Leppard's signature sound, right? But the album that's here next on the playlist, the Diamond Star Halos, is a long name. I don't know what it means. It's quite a trippy album cover. I don't know if you're like into like drugs or something. Maybe it does something for you. I actually think this album is pretty decent. I would even say it's better than their self-titled album, which came before it. Again, I think they came back strong after a few albums of kind of being out of it. There's some good songs on this. Let's see, Take What You Want. I have on my playlist. Fire It Up, You Rock Me, Open Your Eyes, Angels Can't Help You Now. I think Open Your Eyes is the one that I really liked. Some of the other songs were decent. Nothing... I mean, I might have to go back and listen through all these again. I actually have not gone back through before this ranking video. I probably should have done that. I'm going off of memory here and just based on what I have from Spotify. But from what I remember, this sounded pretty good. I know, that he's... what was the singer's name again? Joe Elliott? Yeah, Joe Elliott's getting a little bit older, so his voice isn't able to quite hit those high-pitched notes that he used to hit in the older days. The kind of screaming that went on, but I tell you what, he still sounds pretty good, especially when he's hitting those lower notes, and I really like the sound of this album, some pretty heavy moments in there. I'm going to give it, we got a lot of stuff coming up here. I'm going to give it a B. B is not bad, by the way. B for bad, that's not true. It's actually a pretty decent album. I would totally... Actually, I probably should listen to it again and maybe redo this ranking video at a later date. If you see that the video has been taken down and it's been redone, that's probably the reason why. So next we got Sounds from the Sparkle Lounge. Again, I don't really know too much from this. I know I've listened to it a couple times. And whenever I like songs, I add them to my playlist on Spotify. And the only song I have is "Come On, Come On." I think "Come Undone" was decent. There might have been some covers in this one too. He's got Nine Lives of Tim McGraw. I don't know what they were doing there. I can't remember much off of this album. To be honest, I think they were trying to do some sort of Beatles tribute with this album cover. I'm not sure, but it's not great. Obviously, I don't remember it very well. I think it's probably better than Slang, which is less memorable for me. All you gotta do is slang, or whatever that song is, the title track. I think I probably like it about as much. At least it's got "Come On, Come On," which I do like that song. It kind of gets me, it's upbeat to kind of get you going a little bit. But I don't have too much else to say about it. That completely changes with Adrenalize, though. So, from what I've kind of read into and what I've been told by my dad, who was around during this era, I was not alive yet. After Hysteria, they had so much stuff backlogged that they've kind of come up with at the time that they had recorded that they were like, well, we can't fit it all on one album. So the next two albums had stuff that they were coming up with that same time frame. So you got Adrenalize and then Retroactive, and this was just a good time frame for the band. Now, a lot of people may not be into these songs quite as much as Hysteria. I personally really like I got every single song from this album added onto my playlist, so that's one thing to tell you. Some of them, like Heaven is a little bit of a slower song. And then there's some songs that are a little bit like, especially nowadays, like Personal Property and all that. I don't think that would go over too well if it was released now. But you know what? Instrumental wise, like music wise, they're all really. I really love Tonight and White Lightning. Let's see what else. Tear It Down. That's actually a B-side, I think, off of Hysteria, and then they just put it on the album. I mean, all of those are just spectacular songs. Let's Get Rocked is pretty good. They play that live a decent bit. I've seen these guys live probably more than Rush at this point, which is sad to say, but I'll tell you what. They put on a good show. So Adrenalize is going up into my A, at least for now. I might reorganize these at a later time. Euphoria. Okay, this is also a very good one. It's the latest one that's like really good, I would say. You got Promises, which is an extremely well-known song, one of their biggest hits. I really like Paper Sun. That's probably my favorite song on the album, to be honest. Day After Day and Kings of Oblivion. Those are all the songs that I've added to my playlist, but I think I remember kind of liking Demolition Man and a couple of those songs too. I'll have to probably re-listen to it again, but these are just the songs that really stood out to me. Again, very good album. Obviously, Promises is the big hit off of it. That's probably the only thing that most people remember from it. But I tell you, I've seen them play Paper Sun live once. I think that was like back in 2015 when I saw them. I can't remember exactly, but I tell you what, that was an excellent song. Love when they play that. Still sounded great on this album, voice-wise, able to go up and down, all over the place. So, I don't know. I'm probably going to put it at A. I don't know exactly at this point how many albums go into each category. I'll figure that out too. I'm just kind of just going at this. I'm like, you know what? I want to do a video. It's been a while since I've done a video. Let's just have some fun. So if I got to reorganize these a little bit, just bear with me. Straight to S. I mean, Hysteria, every single song is a banger. There's not going to be much better, right? I mean, I think almost every single song is a hit too. I wasn't alive at the time, so I don't know what songs were actually singles on the radio, but I've heard every single one of these songs either live or played by I live in the St. Louis area, so K-She plays a lot of these. I don't think I've heard Love and Affection on the radio, but otherwise I probably heard all of these songs played on the radio at some point. And Gods of War is probably one of my favorite. That and Woman are just unbelievable. But yeah, this is an S-tier album, 100%. Every single day. I mean, it's kind of like what I say about Styx Grand Illusion and Rush Moving Pictures. I mean, every single song is perfect on it. I mean, you're not going to get much better. Just a good time to be alive, which I was not. But you know what? I like to live. I'm an old soul. I live like I was alive back then. Anyway, On Through the Night. Now, this was their first album. They were really young when they came out with this. Very experimental. It does sound a lot like their later stuff, but it's still kind of raw, you know? They got Rock Brigade, Hello America, which they still play all the time. Though both of those are great songs. I can't remember some of these other songs. I probably should go through it again, let's be honest again. Wasted, Rocks Off, great songs. And then Overture, which is the longest song I think they ever put out, if I'm not mistaken. And that is kind of almost proggy. It's got like all sorts of instrumental sections, and they also came out with a Def Leppard EP before this album. I think back in 1979 or something, and that had the overture on it as well. And the picture of that album has a leopard with a sonograph or whatever those things are called, like a phonograph. That's it, like one of those old record players next to it, and like the leopard is deaf. Thought that was kind of funny. But no, this album has got some pretty darn good songs on it. I don't know some of the songs. Like, obviously, they didn't hit well enough for me to, like, really vibe with it all that much. But I'd say half the album's on my playlist. So, I mean, it's a pretty good album. And it's a great debut album, I'll tell you, for a band that really hit it off after the next album. I'll get to that in a sec. I'm going to put this, for now, I'm going to put this at the upper part of B, which again is not bad. This is good stuff here. I just don't know if it's quite A or S yet. We'll see if it sneaks into A here. This is going to be controversial here. Okay, now the second album of theirs, I think, is their best. Obviously, because I put it here. It's hard to explain. This has more hits, and it's got some really cool bits and everything. But gosh dang, I love the songs on this so much. And you got Switch 625, which might be their only instrumental that I know about. You got Bringing on the Heartbreak going into that song. And then Keishi, at least in St. Louis, always played Another Hit and Run and Saturday Night High and Dry back to back. Those are both great songs. Let It Go is a great song. I like Lady Strange is a good song. I don't know if I remember You Got Me Running very much. It's got to be decent because obviously, like, I've listened to this album many, many times. I don't know why I don't have it on my... Spotify sometimes removes songs or, like, re-puts out an album as a remastered version. I lose the songs that are on my playlist. That's one thing that I don't really like about it, but... Anyway, then they got On Through the Night, the song, which should have been on the first album, but it's on this album, so that's kind of funny. That's a good song. Mirror, Mirror is a great song. No, No, No is a great song, and my dad has the record where that's like the final track on the album, and it'll keep spinning around going, no, no, no. So that's pretty cool. And then on Spotify, they have the Bringing on the Heartbreak remix that came out later, kind of a more poppy version, still good. And even the B-side, Me and My Wine, is pretty decent. I mean, that's me right here chilling out with some wine ranking albums. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. So, personally, yeah, I think this album is, in my opinion, just for me, again, this is, everyone's got their own list, and I respect everything, and both of these albums are obviously S-tier albums, but I personally listen to High and Dry slightly more than Hysteria. And so I gotta rank them how I have them. That's where it comes from. Again, it is not because the drummer, and I forgot what the drummer's name is. I'm terrible with names. But it's not because he has both arms at this point or anything. It doesn't make a huge difference. He still kicks butt even with one arm. I could never do it. But just the music, it's a little bit more raw sounding, but really... just still really good. And Joe Elliott's voice is still great at the time, and the guitar, it's just good stuff. I can't complain. Got the self-titled album. Now, the self-titled, I think it's kind of along the same lines of Diamond Star Halos. It might be slightly lower for me. Let's see what I got from it again. See, this is what I'm talking about. I know that I like several of these songs, and now they're gone from my Spotify playlist. I gotta complain about that. Blind Faith was really good. All Time High. I remember them playing that live several times that I've seen them, and that was good. Um, I don't know. Time High. It's a good song. I can't sing, obviously. Uh, what was the other ones? Wings of an Angel. I remember that being pretty good. I gotta re-add all these songs. It really kills me. See, this is the type of stuff that makes me think I should have re-gone through some of these albums because Spotify's always refreshing these things. There was at least another song or two on it that were pretty decent. Again, it's around the same level as Diamond Star Halos. I don't think I liked it quite as much, but they're on the same level. Or I basically like maybe a third to half the album. They got a good sound going again. Really cool album covers, I think, and I think they're getting back into it. I've seen them live several times now in the last, 5 to 6 years, and they never failed. I was gonna say they never failed to disappoint. That's wrong. They never failed to. What's the word I'm looking for? Gosh dang it, I'm terrible with words. Anyway, the opposite of disappoint. It's not a point, so I don't know. I don't even know why disappoint and whatever. Anyway, great music. I'm sorry that I'm so terrible at being able to entertain. Anyway, Retrospective, great album. I'm gonna put it kind of up there with Adrenalize. Maybe not quite as high as Adrenalize. Let's see. The only songs I really got on there are I Want to Be Your Hero, and then my favorite off of this album is Desert Song, which is just great. And then other than that, they have like revised versions of songs and B-sides, and I think Ride Into the Sun was okay. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, maybe it's not as high as I thought it was. Fractured Love, I thought was, if I remember correctly, I thought that was okay. Or no, there's a song on X. That's what I'm thinking of. So maybe that's not as high. Tell you what I'm going to do here. I'm going to do a little switcherooski. But the songs I like off of this are amazing. I really love Desert Song. It's probably one of my favorite Def Leppard songs that there is. Maybe I need to re-listen to this album again. There's probably some little golden eggs on it golden tidbits that I'm missing out on. But anyway, yeah, I'll get back to that. I might redo this ranking video later, but for now we'll go with it. Pyromania obviously is one of their best albums. It's not as good as Hysteria or High and Dry in my opinion, but it's like right there. It's right next to it. I've got every single song from the album on my playlist. I mean, there's nothing that's bad on it. It's simply that I just don't quite like the songs as much as these two. I mean, like Stage Fright, for instance. I still got it on my playlist. I like it a lot. I don't like it quite as much as a lot of the songs in these two albums. Rock Till You Drop's kind of the same thing because they repeat that all the time. But it's got my favorite Def Leppard song of all time, which is Foolin' on it. I don't think it can get much better than Foolin'. I mean, Foolin' is just, every time they play that, it's just so good. Billy's Got a Gun almost kind of sounds kind of Aerosmithy, to be honest. I like every single song on this album. It's just slightly below these two. So that's why I'm going to put it here. Still an excellent album. I just saw, what was it, the 40th anniversary of this 2 years ago. And that was a great tour. They played at Busch Stadium. They came with Cheap Trick and Journey. And, oh, man, that was a great concert. But, yeah, this, again, they played the whole album. It's all spectacular. I'm not gonna complain. It's an S-tier album. X. Now, X, what did I even have from that? This is the one I always mix up with Retrospective for some reason. They're both like kind of black albums right next to each other. Again, I think Spotify removed... Okay, Cry. Cry is the song that I have on here, but I thought there was like You're So Beautiful might have been in, or Love Don't Lie. I think there's like two songs on this that are pretty good, but I don't come back to this album. I might have to listen to it again. Again, some of these albums that didn't resonate with me the first couple times, they're down here, and I just don't really go back to them. But, I should probably go back and just make sure that this ranking is the way that I want it to be. But for now, I'm going to put this down here at C. And this, look at that, 3-3-3, and it works out perfectly. And then, yeah, down, I mean, yeah. Again, it's a good album, but it's mainly, I think it might even be all covers. There might be one or two songs that are like their own, but I think it's pretty much covers. And it's a good album. I mean, they do that 10538 Overture by ELO, which I love, Waterloo Sunset. You know, a lot of these songs I actually don't know who they're covering by. Stay With Me. I mean, yeah, so, I mean, yeah, they got a lot of good songs on here, but it's a cover album. I mean, Rush did the same thing. I didn't include Feedback in my album ranking. I mean, it's a good cover album, but I'm not going to do it. So, yeah, that's going to do it for me in terms of the Def Leppard rankings tonight. I think I'm going to try to get into some Neil Morris music tonight. So be on the lookout for another video that I will be coming out with probably within the next hour or two as well. But I can't quite do Spock's Beard yet because I need to go through all the Ted Leonard and what was the other newer singer. After Neil Morris left, I haven't analyzed those albums as closely as I should yet. And it's funny because those albums are on Spotify and the Neil Morris ones aren't. But I've gotten so much more into just Neil Morris's style of composing that I haven't really... I haven't listened to the other ones as much. So I'll have to go through that. But anyway, this is a Def Leppard video. I shouldn't be talking about that. Look at me go. Anyway, so you guys have a great night, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Goodbye.